Hello, my name is Jacob Ross, and I'm going to be talking to you today about a discussion that has been going on for quite some time now, and that is the debate between college athletes being paid or not. There are a number of reasons why people believe college athletes should be paid. For instance, serious college athletes spend more time practicing their sports and playing their games as most people spend at work each week. In other words, being a college athlete is the equivalent of a full-time job. That being said, since college athletes are spending so much time on the field or the court and in the classroom, they don't have the time to actually work. So it kind of makes hard for athletes to make both ends meet, basically. With all this information, you're probably thinking, well, athletes should be paid then so they can make their ends meet and they can provide themselves with the necessities of living, basically. Well, that's just one part of the whole 15. Um, just as many reasons if you're saying college athletes should be paid, there's just as many of reasons they should not. And I'm just going to give you 7 of many reasons today. Reason number 1. College athletic programs can't afford to pay athletes. They don't have the money to. Take Auburn University, for example. In 2015, the school debuted their newest addition, an almost 11,000 square foot high definition screen in the stadium. The glow from the screen can be seen up to 30 miles away, and it came to the university at a cost of $13.9 million. So just as amount of money that goes into the program goes out trying to make other people attracted to that college so they can bring more money in. It's like kind of like reverse psychology. Now, people who believe college athletes should be paid see this cost and immediately say, well, if Auburn could spend that much money on a screen, they could certainly spend that much money for pay their athletes. That seems like a valid statement. However, what these people don't realize is that Auburn athletic department posted a $17 million deficit in 2014, and this screen was the equivalent of a Hail Mary pass to try to bring more money into the program. Which leads me to my second. Most elite colleges athletes get scholarships anyway, so they technically do get paid just in like behind the scenes. They don't have to pay their tuition and their stay and their food. Most athletes get a food plan, so colleges already pay billions each year. In some cases, the average athletic scholarship at a school actually exceeds the school's tuition. Going on to my next point, playing college sports is a privilege. It's every high school kid's dream to play in college, but actually only 7% of those kids make it to a college, and 2 of that 7% actually only make it to a Division I school. What does that tell you? That playing college sports is a privilege. College athletes should recognize that the opportunity they have to play in college is something that millions of people dream and never achieve. Playing in college should be done for the love of the game. After all, that's what it is, a game. Most college athletes truly love the chosen sport and don't want it to ever turn into a job or chore. When it does, the love for that game it goes away. It becomes a business. Reason number 4. This is probably one of my biggest reasons. I don't understand. There's no fair way to pay college athletes. How are you going to determine who gets paid what money? Is everybody going to be paid equally? Because you have there's not just one quarterback. There's 5 quarterbacks, and there's that for every position. So if there's just at least 5 people for every position, and there's 11 positions, that's 55 players. So you're going to pay all 55 players the same, or you're going to do it by their talents, which isn't fair. And I'll save that for later. Also, that piggybacking on that, students are not professionals. So If they're good enough to make it to the next level, which is the professional level, that is when they will be paid to play sports. They're in college right now to, number one, get an education because they are student athletes. Student comes first, not athlete. So they're getting their tuition paid for so they can go to school, and that comes first before athlete. This is the biggest reason of all. My fifth reason, or my sixth reason. Paying students will cause cuts everywhere. If you think about it, well, you probably don't know, but the only two sports in NCAA or college that brings in money is football and basketball. Because you have playoffs for football, you have March Madness for basketball. And those are only two sports. Those two sports actually pay for all the other sports to even be possible, to even be a sport for that college. If you choose to pay college athletes, you're going to have to pay all sports. You're going to have to pay softball, baseball, water polo, whatever that college provides, because that's only equal. Well, that being said, if you want to pay college athletes, they're going to have to cut multiple sports out, volleyball, all the sports that don't bring in money. So the only two sports that are going to be left is football and basketball, and that might not even happen because they don't have enough money to afford that. And which brings me to my last reason. College athletes being paid would just ruin the whole sport. Just like NFL. People still like the NFL, but it's not the same as college anymore because the college athletes are trying to get to the next level, which is NFL. So they're playing their hearts out. They're trying to be better, to improve. NFL people, they're already there. They don't need to try to prove anything else. They're already making millions. They're already making their money. They have their profession. They don't have to give that extra effort to move on, basically. So, recapping it all, college athletes do not need to be paid. They technically get paid through tuition, food plan, stay, living costs, all that. It would ruin the sport. And simply, the NCAA cannot afford to pay college athletes. Thank you.